Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the weekly Wine and Dine. Today is September 28th, and we have a great lineup for you all this evening. I'm so excited. We just came off of a great trip, and I'm sure Roy will talk a little bit about that, but I just can't wait. You know, I look forward every week to get with you all on the Wine and Dine. And it is, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jacqueline. I've been around for about 5 years and I absolutely love wine and I love this show. It's a little bit of education with a little bit of fun. So sit back if this is your first time and enjoy. But before we get started, every week, we always start with a toast. What better way to kick off a wonderful evening than with a wine toast? And so our dear friend and CEO of Wine Ambassador has joined us, Mr. Rory Rickard, and he's going to kick us off this evening. Rory?
Hey, I'm so happy we're doing this, and this is our first Wine and Dine to this being broadcast on YouTube as well, just to reach more people. But we were just together with a lot of the people that are here. We were just together in Dallas, Texas. It's weird how you just jump on a plane and you're back in Utah or back in your home state. Except for you, Jackie, you just had to drive down the street. And you know, I went on a big theme of dream bigger, and you know, look at what we've been able to do as a community and reaching out and sharing with stuff. But wine, all roads lead to wine. And I just want to do a toast to everybody that's dreaming bigger, because you dream it, you can achieve it. Glad to be on the ride with you. Welcome to the journey.
Salute. Thank you very much, Rory. We appreciate you. And yes, this past week was a blast. So let's get started. And we have our host this evening is Miss Donna Walker. She's a really dear friend of mine, and she has a great lineup of cooks for you that are going to do their culinary specialties in the comfort of their own home. So I'm going to turn it over to Donna.
Thank you, Jackie. I have a great lineup tonight. I hope you all are hungry. If you're not, you will be soon. For appetizers tonight, we have Paulette. And
hello.
And
go ahead.
Okay. And for main dish, Stacy.
Hey.
Say hi, Stacy. And for desserts, we have 2 desserts. Now, you always have to have 2 desserts for dinner, right? So Dawn is on dessert, and Larry.
Hey.
So we're going to get going tonight, and welcome everybody. And before we get started, I'd just like to say to all of our members in Florida that we're thinking about you, and stay safe. So Paulette, we're going to start with you.
Okay. I was supposed to do this probably about a month or so ago, and I wasn't able to because I had my teeth pulled. So when Kathleen asked me yesterday if I wanted to do it, I jumped at the chance. So I'm simple. I mean, I just cook simple stuff. Don't add a whole lot of fancy stuff to it because I really don't know how. So my appetizers, I have 3. One of them is sausage balls. Everybody likes sausage balls. And one is pigs in a blanket. And I also have a cheese dip made with sausage and Rotel tomatoes. And I do put a twist on this. Instead of using Velveeta cheese, like my first recipe called for, I still use the Velveeta, but we use the queso blanco. It makes a big difference in how the cheese dip tastes. So that's what I've got. And do you want to come back and let me show everybody later, or am I supposed to show them now, or how do you want to do this, Donna?
Let's just go ahead and show them the appetizers.
Okay. Then the first one I'll show you, and I'm going to have to tilt my computer down. Maybe. Can you see it?
Yep, there you go.
Okay, that's the cheese dip and my chips. And then I've got the other 2 together on one plate. Let's see how this works out. Ooh. These are the sausage balls, and then here are the pigs in the blanket.
Nice. Oh, wow.
And I had fun writing the page today, and they're good. I kind of sampled them as I went. I'm one of those cooks that does.
Mhm.
So let me go ahead and sample this out.
So let us know what you put
Oh.
in each one of these, Paulette.
Okay, in the cheese dip, let me tilt this back up. In the cheese dip, I use sausage and just a little bit of hamburger meat. The hamburger meat will tone the sausage down just a little bit because sometimes people don't like a lot of spice. And with me using the queso cheese, it spices it up more. But I use that and Rotel tomatoes, and that's it. Just a cheese, sausage, and Rotel tomatoes. And it's always a big hit. Usually at Christmas time, I have to take this to when we went to my aunt and uncle's every year. I had to take this for as the main or as my main dish. I took other things, but I couldn't go if I didn't take this. My uncle wouldn't let me in the house. So
What are you pairing that with, sweetheart?
oh, I'm sorry. I am using, thanks to Peter,
You're welcome.
I have the more than used Chardonnay. And I tasted of it a little while ago. And, oh, it is so good.
Yeah.
I hadn't had any of it yet.
With all that cheese and the spice from your sausage, it's going to be a great combination.
Oh, it is. Because I drank some just a minute ago, and it tastes a whole lot better after I ate the cheese and the dip. Okay. Here goes the pig in a blanket. And this has the cocktail. I use cocktail sausages, just Walmart brand, nothing expensive. And but I did use Pillsbury crescent rolls for the dough. And I just take them out, and they've got to where they're not real cut, they're not separated good. You have to kind of cut them up anyway. So I just took one of them and I just cut it in strips and then flattened it out with a little bitty rolling pin that I have. And I rolled it out, and then I cut it in half, took one half and rolled around one of the cocktail sausages, and then rolled the other one around the other cocktail sausage. Like I said, everything's simple to make.
Nice.
And I like last week that somebody pointed out when you don't have a rolling pin,
You can use a wine bottle.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Eddie works wonderful as a rolling pin, just so you know.
I
you
had
didn't
it
tell me
ready.
if it was the wine bottle or the actual Nile.
Okay, then my sausage balls, I also use sausage. I use Swaggerty sausage. That is a brand that is around here in East Tennessee. It's the best sausage that I've ever ate. But it has the sausage. I use Bisquick, the biscuit mix, and I use sharp cheddar shredded cheese. You just mix it all up in the mixing bowl. Now, when you get toward the end of it, it's really hard because that flour or the Bisquick, it just keeps like it's just, you ain't going nowhere. It don't want to mix, and you just have to keep squeezing it until it does. So now let me
So
try
are
this.
are these baked or fried?
They're baked. These the cheese dip is in the crock pot because it has to cook slow, and then the sausage balls and the pig in the blanket are both cooked in the oven.
Baked.
Now that's got a different taste from the cheese, even though both of them have got sausage and both of them have got cheese.
Yeah, isn't it interesting, huh?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's one of my favorite ways to taste things is to have two or three very similar things and try to compare them and all of a sudden see how they go different.
Yeah, they're very different between the two of them. I think I like it with the cheese dip better, but can't say that this is too bad either.
And for those of you that are viewing tonight, as we're going through the cooks, we will be placing their pages in the chat for you. So please access those. Those are some great recipe pages and how to pair the different wines. So enjoy that as well.
And actually,
Thank you all.
uh, they all sound really good, Paulette. Sounds delicious. And they're nice and quick and fast. We didn't really start out with a theme, but it's fall and back to school. So anything quick and easy on these busy nights and busy get-togethers. All of these recipes are fairly quick to make.
Yeah.
So
Of course, I
thank
like
you.
that Paulette says she cooks simple and then does 3 different things.
She's ready for anything. Okay,
You
so
know, when
next
Go ahead.
for our main meal, we have Stacy, and she's doing no peak chicken.
and I haven't peeked. It's in the oven. I prepped it earlier. I actually videotaped myself making it. So I'll have that on my page later when I get it up to YouTube. But I literally took a package of chicken breasts from Costco, chicken broth. This is, you guys, I found out yesterday I was going to be cooking. I went to my pantry and my freezer and I stood here and I opened them both up and what can I make? And I created my own recipe because we had a box of Zatarain's long grain wild rice. So chicken, long grain wild rice, how can we have fun with it? I had the chicken broth and I used the chicken broth because it brings out more of the flavor of the rice than water would. I learned that little trick. And then a couple cans of cream of whatever soup. I used cream of chicken because, again, that's what was in my pantry. And then I mixed those 4 ingredients, the rice, the broth, and the cream of chicken, and a couple cloves of garlic minced in. I didn't cut it. I used my handy dandy Pampered Chef squeezer, my garlic press. Put it into a bowl, mixed it all up, put it into the roaster, the old time roasters. Put it all in there, put the chicken on top, lightly seasoned it with some kosher salt, black pepper, and oregano.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Sealed it with Reynolds wrap tin foil. Put it in the oven. It's been baking for an hour and 7 minutes. I have about 8 minutes left to go before we can eat. And but it's nice because it was quick to throw together and forget about it. When we're working from home, the hands off where I don't have to sit and watch it simmer and continue to stir it and all that for fear of burning it. It was nice to be able to put it in the oven and keep doing what I did. And now I'm pairing it with our Grand Cru Discoveries Pinot Noir. I chose this because of Peter. Peter recommended it. So I went with it. The Pinot Noir, we've all been learning over the past several months that Pinot Noir is a versatile wine. Mm-hmm. It's a red, but it can go all ways with everything.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's terrific choice. And chicken in particular, people think white food, white wine. No. Chicken and Pinot Noir are a natural pairing.
Yeah. And so I'm really excited because the last time I did chicken breast with a red wine, y'all are going to laugh, but this is how not a wine connoisseur I was. I took some Cabernet Sauvignon and I marinated my chicken breasts in it. Anyone ever eat purple chicken breasts?
That's a classic.
It tasted amazing.
Yep. If you go to Julia Childs, it's called Coq au vin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My new name is Julia.
Okay.
I love it. I love it.
My son looked at me.
Wait till you take that out of the oven and pair that. You could have invited me down to your house. I don't know. If it's
you had plenty of time to drive it, girlfriend. So yeah,
you
give
guys.
me about 5 minutes and maybe we'll be salivating over these desserts that are coming up.
That sounds great. We'll come back for sure. Okay, let's get a peek into some of our desserts then. Dawn, do you want to tell us about yours?
I made a chocolate crazy cake. And the reason why it's called crazy is because there is no butter, no eggs, no milk. It is a dish that you can make because you normally have all the ingredients in your closet. It takes oil, vinegar, and your usual flour, baking soda, I'm looking here, vanilla, and cocoa powder, the unsweetened cocoa powder. And then you use some sugar and you put it all together, just mix it up and stick it in the oven. Okay, I started icing it, but this is the one I made today. As you see, I started icing, but I'm not done.
Looks
So,
delicious.
yeah, and I'm pairing it with our Rickard Merlot
Nice.
because I put it out on Skype and asked if it was the Merlot, or there was another wine that I asked and I forget what it was. Adele's wine.
Uh-huh.
And I was told to use the Merlot.
Yeah,
So
yeah, everybody knows Merlot and chocolate, especially that Merlot. There's a reason.
Peter, you also use Merlot with the steak, wouldn't you?
You can. I usually like the Cabernets with the steak,
Okay.
but there's nothing wrong with the Merlot either.
Okay.
Usually you want the extra tannins to stand up to the fattiness of the steak, and
Oh,
Merlots
okay.
aren't as tannic.
Okay. I'm gonna cut a piece of the cake. And I need a plate.
Well, while she's plating it, why don't we go see what Larry's got, and then you guys can
Yeah,
go from there.
idea.
Larry?
Okay, thanks so much for having me. This is my first time of doing Wine and Dine, so thank you very much for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Tonight, I have a pineapple cheese casserole.
Yum.
It is considered a dessert. However, it's also considered a salad with your main meal. And I'm gonna read off the ingredients here. I didn't have any pineapple, so I got on the plane and flew down to Stacy's house, and stole some out of her pantry. So thanks, Stacy. So 2 cans of 20-ounce pineapple chunks, 1 cup of white sugar, 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of shredded sharp cheddar cheese, 25 what they call buttery crackers, I call them Ritz, and a 1/2 cup of melted butter. You want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Then you're going to spread the pineapple in a bottom of a 2-quart casserole dish. In a small bowl, stir together your sugar, your flour, and your cheese, and you're going to add that on top of your pineapple that's in the casserole dish. And then you're going to sprinkle your crushed Ritz crackers. I crush mine with just a regular rolling pin in a baggie. I was going to use my Tanya, but I don't think Rory would have enjoyed me doing that with Tanya. We pour melted butter over the top and we bake it for 30 minutes. I have it in the oven right now and it is ready to come out. So let me grab it real quick.
Just in time.
Just in time.
Sounds fabulous.
It does.
It
really
is.
does.
They say that this is a Southern dish. but I'm in the Southwest, so I guess Southwest qualifies as Southern. I'm going to switch my camera here and hold it up so you can see it.
Ooh. Bet that would be good with a big scoop of vanilla ice cream on top.
Yeah, I think so.
It looks absolutely delicious.
Sure does.
It has pineapple has a lot of acidic or acid in it. So I am actually pairing it with a 2020 Tanya Pinot Grigio.
Nice.
And
Yeah, great choice because the you need something light, bright, acidic to go with something like that.
yeah, I mean the wine by itself is super delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to grab a fork here. Be really careful with this because the pineapple is really hot when you get it out of the oven.
Yeah, baking's a very special torture. You have to wait for things to cool down, otherwise you burn yourself. They just smell so good.
Definitely. Okay, so I'm gonna take a drink of the wine first. Oh, that's so good. And we're gonna the pineapple, the cheese, and this has a special all taste all of its own. Kind of weird that you would mix pineapple and cheese, but it is really, really good. And it's going to be really, really hot. So please bear with me here.
Don't burn your mouth.
If you need, we can wait a few minutes and come back. to
Yeah,
you.
we can come back. Let it cool, honey.
or I got it in my mouth. Yeah,
or,
it's hot.
or cool your mouth off with some wine.
There you go. And a little more.
Oh, definitely. Pineapple tastes much, much better. And the wine does pick up the sugar in it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it's an
very
amazing
high
thing.
taste of sugar.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. People think that you have to have sweet with sweet, and sometimes that just hides all the sweetness. Going with this nice tart, acidic, tart, crisp wine makes the sweetness come out even more.
Yeah, that is delicious, guys. You gotta try this.
I am.
Nice.
gonna try
Very
it.
good.
That's delicious.
Sounds
Is Rory
perfect.
around? I'd like to get Rory's take on some. What is Rory's take on some of these pairings? Is he still with us?
You
Yeah,
guys
he
are doing
is.
great. You guys are doing great. I like how you guys are tasting the expert. The sweet on sweet's my favorite reaction, by the way, because like sometimes we were like you can use wine to balance out a meal, and the experience just helps do that, right? So the more you experience this, the more you try it on your own. You're building a library of tastes, and you're gonna be like, oh, do you know what? A Pinot Noir would be great with that because of this, and you can just expand on it. It's one of those. Everybody here is a practicing wine connoisseur. You're practicing. The more you do it, the more you're going to get there. I can tell you, Peter and I didn't get our taste by just tasting the wines the last year. We've been doing it for decades, right? And
Yep.
Some of us on a very regular nightly basis, right? Like different wines and different events and your experience it. And you guys got to do that at home, and you got to do it with friends, with family, with loved ones. And we got holidays coming up. I'm just going to plant the seed. Thanksgiving for us is like we eat all day, right? You have the big meal, but you kind of graze all day because we're watching the Cowboys, go boys, and we're watching the other football game with the dang Lions, whoever they play, right? And you're just there with the family, and you can share, but you can start in the morning. And if you're doing the last minute preparations for the meal, you know, you can have the rosé out there, you can have the sparkling, you can start the whole day and just kind of browse the day with different wines and have a big tasting moment with everybody there. And it's those type of things where I, you know, found that, man, if I use a brine on the turkey, Sauvignon Blanc is going to be better with that than the Pinot, because it's going to open up based on the brine. It's things you can do like that. Not all of us cook the turkey the same way. Some of us change it up. Some are very traditional, but and you might have a ham, right? You can try these different wines out, and that's one of the best moments. So I'm putting this out there because I like Thanksgiving with about 4 different bottles of wine.
Is that all?
Well, not 4 different types. There's more than 4 bottles, right? In our house, but 4 different types.
That's your
usually.
personal, yeah.
Yeah, but it's, you know, because and Pinot Noir, when in doubt, go Pinot Noir. But experience the other ones, you know, and if you got a bunch of people there, a bottle can be shared with 6, 8 people, and you all can have a different tasting and do the next one. So the holiday time, anytime you have a bunch of people together, that's a great time to expand your tastes and share them with others and bounce back and forth. That's my input for you, Jackie.
Well, thank you very much, Utah. I really appreciate it. Okay, Donna, we can go back to Stacy now.
Sounds good, Stacy. Is it almost ready?
It is ready. Oh my gosh, you guys, this looks so amazing. I was just serving up my family because they're starving. But I took the chicken breast. Let me do this. This will be easier. Find the camera. There we go. I took the chicken breast out of the roaster.
Wow, that looks
Awesome.
good.
And it's tender. And then the rice mixture turned creamy, obviously. So it's not your typical long grain wild rice. Do this without burning myself, but it's very thick.
Looks good.
And so I fluffed the rice with a fork and then served it up. And I've got my husband's about ready here.
And even your charger.
And
Okay.
there you go. And now I am going to take, and again, I'm pairing this with the Pinot Noir, and I'm going to tip my phone. Yes, my middle name is Grace. I slide across the kitchen floor every day. So I'm tasting this with the Pinot Noir, Discovery's Grand Cru. And I don't usually use this big of a fork, but here we go. Very tender chicken. And I didn't stir this. This is no peak chicken. I put it in the oven. Wow. It's made the chicken more savory.
Nice. You put any spices in there with it?
Oregano, salt, and pepper,
Wow.
and a couple cloves of garlic.
That's good.
Yeah, and the oregano is going to pick up some of the more earthy notes in that Pinot Noir too.
Yes. And it definitely brings out the earthiness of the long grain wild rice and the seasonings that Zatarain's has in theirs. This is really good. This is really yummy. Let me ask, Mom, David. Oh, you haven't had it, but what do you think, Mom? Is this a do again recipe? I got a from Mom, so he didn't throw the food back at me, so it must be good.
Boy,
I don't know
tough
about-
audience.
Go ahead, Dieter.
No, I just said, wow, that's a tough audience if they throw the food at you.
Mother-in-laws.
Well, I
Oh,
don't
I
know
had the
about you
best.
guys, but they're all making me really hungry.
Oh, me
Now,
too.
did Dawn taste hers?
No, I'm getting ready to do that now.
Dawn, did you
Mhm.
tell us what kind of icing you put on that cake, baby?
Yes, I got a recipe from Pinterest, and it's an easy chocolate frosting. You use 1 cup of softened butter, half a cup of cocoa powdered sifted, 5 cups of powdered sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, and it says 3 to 4 teaspoons of milk, or not teaspoons, tablespoons of milk. But it says to use more if you want a different consistency, and I wanted mine a little bit more smooth. So I add a couple more tablespoons of milk.
Oh, okay. It looks
Okay.
delicious.
So here's. And the icing is not real sweet. It makes the Merlot so that it's not so, how can I say it, not so strong,
Mm-hmm.
but it also softens the sweetness of the cake, makes it so that it's not as sweet.
Right. That's what I was saying before. The magic of dry wine with sweet foods.
Yes, it really tastes good.
Yeah. The other
And
thing,
the cake is
Okay.
very easy to make.
Oh, it sounds terrific. And not having some of those other ingredients in it probably makes the chocolate a little more intense too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's, all the fat is great, but it coats your tongue and sometimes it blocks your ability to taste things.
Right.
So you're getting a little more pure chocolate experience this way.
Exactly. And the recipe that I put on my webpage is for 1 layer, and I said that. So I doubled the recipe to make 2 layers for the cake.
Peter, having vinegar in that recipe, would that bring out any different flavors?
How much vinegar was in it?
Let's see, there was 2 tablespoons of vinegar.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably not going to really detect the vinegar. A lot of it'll cook out, but you're
Yeah.
going to want that to help the baking soda rise.
Yeah, there
That-
was more oil. There was like 5 tablespoons per layer of oil.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
With baking soda, you need some acid to make it rise, and some of those other
Mhm.
ingredients that aren't there, you need to the vinegar kind of help is what makes up for that. So I don't know that it would change the taste during. Does it taste at all sour?
no. But it's
Yeah.
not extremely sweet like some cakes are.
Mm. Well, I'm all for desserts that aren't overly sweet. It's as we
Mhm.
get older, we seem to like, candy sweet a little less sometimes. So
Absolutely. Well, Rory, what is your take? Because we know that you love Merlot and chocolate, my dear friend.
I think Merlot should always go with chocolate. Yeah, I mean, I don't care what you're having your Merlot with. If you open that bottle of Merlot, you better have a piece of chocolate standing by.
Well, especially
It's
the
just
Richard
magic.
Merlots.
That whole taste, dark chocolate, I might add, dark chocolate is just amazing with Merlot. It's
Mhm.
like, don't finish that bottle off without at least a sip with some chocolate.
or open another.
Or even better. Even better.
So
And I
So-
gotta get some chocolate now.
yeah. So when we were in Dallas all together, I heard a lot of you were talking. I heard a lot of questions. So I figured I'm going to try to answer some of these questions in the next few weeks. And one of them was about storing wine. And as we're kind of accumulating some of this wine, I don't know why we're not just drinking it, but we all accumulate wine, and storing it is important to keep it in its best shape. And there's really, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to get a gigantic wine refrigerator. I mean, they're great to have, but the things you got to keep, like wine, there's 3 things that are important with wine: light, heat, and how you store the bottle. You don't want to have it too hot. You want to have it consistent. So if you have air conditioning, I live in Arizona, air conditioning is on pretty much all year round. And my house is always about, 72 degrees, which is not necessarily the perfect wine temperature, but not far off and not enough to make a real difference. You don't want it, so it's okay to leave it at that temperature as long as it's dark and you store it on its side. So that's, basically don't store it up, because that way the cork will dry out. Store it on its side. Don't store it in the light, and don't store it near any heat. Don't put it on top of your oven. But other than that, I mean, yeah, wine refrigerator is great. It's even better, but as long as you do that, you're fine for storing your wine. But since we were all together, Donna, why don't you tell everyone why we're all here tonight?
Well, we belong to the best wine discovery club ever. We have a lot of fun discovering different types of grapes and different characteristics of wine. Thanks to Peter and Rory and Tanya. We aren't coming in as experts by any means, but we learn an awful lot through this group. Absolutely. And we have fine wines. They're fine wines from Napa Valley that we have in our wine club. And one of the best parts is you can earn free wine. If you bring in 3 customers, your wine is shipped to your door for free. And anybody can do it by just bringing in 3 customers. So we encourage you to join us. And if you would like to learn more details, please get with the person who invited you to our show tonight, and they can give you more information as well.
Thank you, Donna.
And thank you, Jackie. I thanks for having us.
And
And
I
I'd like
believe, oh, go ahead, Donna. I'm sorry.
I'd like to thank all the cooks tonight, Paulette and Stacy and Larry and Don. Those are great recipes. We really enjoyed it.
Thank you. And Sean,
Thank you,
did
Donna.
you have something to say, my friend?
Do.
Be unmuted.
Absolutely. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm in a hotel room, but I had a great weekend this last weekend. And one of the things I got to learn, and I'm hoping Rory will teach everybody else, but it had to do with chocolate and wine. So when you guys were talking about chocolate and wine, Rory taught me how to actually eat chocolate, because for me, it's putting it in my mouth, chew it a couple of times and getting it in my belly. But he told me there's a different way of doing it where you'll really experience the chocolate, and especially the chocolate and the wine pairing, which obviously that's what I like to do, is, learn more and more about pairing wines with different things. So I'm hoping we
should do that next week, Sean. Let's do it next week.
All right, you guys better come next
I'll
week.
teach everybody.
Because
Jackie, I'll do a proper chocolate tasting next week.
Absolutely. We
smokes.
would love to have you show us how to do that, Rory.
That way I can go visit a local chocolatier. I can get some really good individual pieces, Sean, and then I'll show people how to do that. And maybe I'll have to open up a bunch of bottles of wine. This could be horrible. We'll do that.
I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want to miss that. You do not want to miss that.
And let us know, Rory, so a few of us can taste along with the same chocolates or similar chocolates and wine.
Yeah, we'll just have some dark chocolate and some with nuts and some with like fruit tones. Just get some different chocolates handy.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put that message out to everybody too.
Yes.
Yep.
And Merlot is a must. We'll start with some other ones. It's not just a Merlot for dark chocolate. That's just the best. And you'll see when we do it.
Yep.
Well, that'll be a lot of fun. So for those of you, if this is your first time, please join us again next week, same channel. We do have a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks to all the cooks. The recipes are fabulous. I can't wait to try them. And we will see y'all next week. So God bless and bye for now.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
See you guys.
Thanks, Jackie.
God bless.